All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to this episode, which is number 34, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But the difference between this episode and others is that I'm actually doing this as a solo show. I've done one or two of these before in the past, normally by choice, but this time, Carter the Marketer Johnson has unfortunately injured his knee, and he sent me a text message saying that he is currently at the hospital. So, unexpected things happen in the podcasting recording world. We like to record our shows every Thursday as well as publish them every Thursday. So what can you do? He's in the hospital. He's hurt his knee. He can't really walk apparently. He's been in a fairly large amount of pain for the past few days, so he finally decided to go to the ER and get it checked out. So let's hope that it's nothing too serious. He's hoping it's just like a really bad sprain and that it will eventually heal itself. He's hoping he hasn't torn like his ACL or something crazy like that. So we'll hope that he is doing well. I'm going to send him a text message right here live while I'm recording this, and maybe he'll get back to us before the end of the show, and I can give you guys sort of a live update, or at least as close to live as possible, update of how he's doing. So let me just check up on him. Let me say, so any luck on figuring out what the issue is with the knee? So we'll send that text message and we'll see if I hear back from him. In any case, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the liberty of talking more about YouTube ads. Of course, you've already read the headline for this show. I'm not sure what I'm going to name it. Maybe I'll say YouTube ads, or everything you need to know about YouTube ads part 2, because we have already talked about YouTube ads once. I'm doing this follow-up because I have now finally started to work with YouTube ads, and I'm seeing very good, very positive results from my campaigns, and for kind of a different reason than you might expect. So I'll get into that in just a second. So there you go. He got back to me already. He says he's still waiting on X-rays. So hopefully he can get those X-rays back soon. Although who knows? I don't know how the American medical system works, but with Canadian system, I don't know. You get an X-ray and you might hear about it maybe 3 days later about the results. So anyway, he says doc thinks it's a severe sprain, which is good. I just need to keep off it and have it elevated for a while. So that's good. Hopefully the doc feels like it's not broken, or hopefully he didn't tear anything bad. So if that's what the doc says, then that's good news. So in any case, moving forward with YouTube ads, I just started the campaign, like I said, and I actually not only did I get sort of interesting results in terms of good results, and good and interesting for a reason, like I said, that I'll get into, but also it was interesting because I did it very quickly. I was able to set up an entire advertising campaign and have it launched and essentially running in a much, much shorter period of time than it took me when I first tried to publish Facebook ads. For some reason, so that's good to know. For some reason, I have issues switching my mind between Facebook ads and YouTube ads. I don't know if it's because they both have the word ads in them, but sometimes I'll say Facebook ads and I'll mean YouTube, and vice versa. So if at some point in this I unknowingly say Facebook or YouTube when I meant the other, and it just doesn't seem like I know what I'm talking about, just assume the other one is what I meant to say, because I have these brain farts. Anyway, so it was actually really quick to set up the YouTube ads. Now I'm gonna do also this a little bit differently. For those of you who are watching this, I'm going to sort of do a screen share with you so you can actually see my desktop. And before I do that, let me just close some of the other random windows that I have open, like my virtual server and all this stuff that you guys don't need to see. But for those of you listening, what I'll do is I will try to describe as best as I can sort of the action that's going on as I'm doing it. And for those of you who are seeing this, then there you go. You can go ahead and see it and you'll be fine. If you don't know how to watch the video for this, if you're hearing me but not seeing me, and you want to be able to see me, then you just need to go to the show notes page, which is available via codersstartup.com/34. And then what happens is underneath, you'll see a big, prominently playable sort of audio file, which is hosted by SoundCloud. You'll see that just below it, I usually put in some text saying, to watch this video, click here. So it's kind of hidden. I don't know why I hide it, but I do. It's hidden. It's a little blue link underneath the SoundCloud, the big, prominently beautiful SoundCloud player. below it, click here, whatever, watch this, the actual video. So that'll just take you to YouTube and you can actually watch this. So what's interesting is the reason why I was able to get the YouTube ads up and running very quickly was because I used an application, or rather a SaaS application, so some software called VRoll, which is spelled V double E roll, ROLL. So VEEROLL.com. And VRoll is a paid service, so you need to pay. Ooh, that's a good question. So I'm going to bring it up on my desktop right now, and I'm going to share my screen. Like I said, for those of you blessed with the ability of seeing this, I'm going to click on share screens. And then you'll also be able to see sort of an image of me as I'm going through this at the same time. So here's the VRoll page. So for those of you who can't see this, I load up the VRoll page. They have sort of I don't know, their background is like a little child running through a hayfield, which is actually pretty funny that they're using that. So what you can do is you can just go ahead, and there's a pricing section. So if I were to click on the pricing section for VRoll, I see that their starter plan starts at $47 per month. And really the difference between the plans, if I were to scroll down, the difference between the plans are that you get different number of ad credits per month. So what an ad credit is in terms of the VRoll application, an ad credit is essentially the number of videos that you can create using their platform. Okay, so with the starter package, you can create 4 videos a month. So essentially the $47 gives you the ability to create 4 video ads. Okay, now here's a tip. I went ahead and I joined somehow, because I think there's a way to join it for free, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go ahead and click on join now, and let me see if it asks for the credit card. So no, it does not ask for a credit card when you sign up, because I believe you get sort of like a trial period. You get something like a 7-day trial period. What I did was I just didn't, I let the trial period run out. So I didn't actually take action. I didn't actually upgrade my account. I just sat there and left it until they sent me an email saying, hey, we'd love to get you to sign up. Here's a bonus. Click on this link and you can get double your number of ad credits. So that's what I did. I'm paying the $47 a month for the starter plan, but I'm getting double the amount of ad credits. So I can create 8 ads per month. All right. And then the downside to the starter plan is I think they have their logo. They have a watermark for their VRoll in the top left-hand corner of the ads. You'll have their watermark. I mean, I don't think that's going to make a huge difference because, like I said, it is small. It is in the upper left-hand corner. It's not too intrusive. So I don't really care at this point. Once I start seeing big return on investment for my YouTube ads and with VRoll, then I'll probably switch. I'll upgrade to their Pro account, which is $97 per month and gives you 10 video ad credits, which I assume you can double to 20 if you were to, do that whole trick that I was just talking about. That gets rid of the watermark and everything like that. And then they have their agency plan, which is if you are sort of like a consultant and you want to create ads for customers, for your clients, so you're creating ads for them, then you'll need their agency plan. Then you get 40 ad credits per month, and they give you the permission, I guess, to create campaigns for your clients. So having said that, I was able to sign up fairly easily, like I said. And basically what makes VRoll cool is you can actually use their templates. So they have video templates set up. Okay, so they have, if I were to, I just logged into my account. For those of you who can't see this, I've logged into my account and I'm going to click on YouTube ads. Apparently they also do Facebook ads. I didn't even realize this. Let me just quickly go into Facebook ads. And can you create video ads for Facebook? Because that's something I'd be interested in doing as well. Yes, it looks like you can create video templates. Very, very cool. That is something that I didn't realize that you can do. They must have just uploaded that. They must have just launched that recently, because that was not there before. So there you go. You heard it first right here, folks. VRoll allows you to create video YouTube ads. Or see, I said YouTube, but I meant Facebook. In any case, I want to switch over to the YouTube ads. And what you can do is you can create videos based on templates. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of click on, when you go and look at the templates that they have a whole bunch of thumbnails where you can click on any of these and sort of watch a preview of the template. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on play and just sort of let the people who are watching this go through and actually see the template. So the template I just clicked on is just someone sort of scribbling and writing on a sort of blank piece of paper, more or less, just some headlines. And that's all it is. What you do is you type in headlines, 5 usually to be exact. And what happens is you type in the 5 headlines and they show up in the video, sort of, like I said, it's part of a template. So, headline, your first headline will be something like, the line that you want to create to capture the people's attention. So for me, since I'm doing sort of like a Java training product, I would say something like, want to join the best Java course available online, or something like that. So you want to join the best, or take the best Java course available today for free, or some sort of attention grabbing headline that would make the people who want to learn Java interested in watching the video further, right? So you just type that in. So you're typing in 40 characters for the first headline, and then you have, like I said, 4 more chances with 4 more spots to type in 40 characters per spot, to get them to click on your YouTube ad. All right. So it's actually really easy. The work that you're putting in is just coming up with 5 lines of text that would, in some way, shape, or form, convince somebody to click on your ad and therefore go to your landing page. All right. So very, very simple to do. Very, very simple. You don't need to worry about finding images. You don't have to worry about obviously creating a video for yourself, because they've done it for you. You don't have to worry about recording yourself. You don't really have to think of a script per se. You just need to think of 5 different sort of headlines that come together to get someone to want to buy your product. And I don't think that's too difficult to do. And that can be done very, very quickly. So I loved it. I just went ahead and typed in 5 lines, and then you hit save. You can add some music to it as well if you want. There's some different selections of music. So if I were to go through and go to creating an ad. So if I go to YouTube ads and say create a YouTube ad, you have 2 choices. One is either an annotation or an easy click. And I'll get to that in a second, the differences between those and what I've seen. But I'm going to go into the first one that they list, which is annotations. And I'm going to sort of click on one of the first ad templates that they have. It's sort of like it's called the old computer. It looks like an old, if you ever had like something like a 286 way back when, like an IBM. That was one of my first computers, an IBM 286. Just pretty much ran DOS, and it's just like the console sort of font. Anyway, so I'm going to select that one as a template. And then you have your choice of music. So for me, I'm just going to say no music, because it's easier that way. And then I'll say submit my selection. So then I've chosen my template, and then I can add a title for it. So this is the title of this whole sort of video. So I can call it, I don't know, test video or something like that. I don't have to be very specific with my naming of it. And then what I can do is I can create my headlines. So now the way they do it is they give you sort of hints at what you should type in each of the lines. So the first line, they say grab their attention. Okay, and you should figure out some way to really grab their attention, because this is the spot in the video where they can choose to skip it after 5 seconds. So this first line will be the first line of text, the 40 characters of text that you need to sell them on to keep watching the video and not skip it after the first 5 seconds, right? So that's your first line. The second line is to create intrigue, is what they say. The third line is to present your simple solution. The fourth line is to make it more awesome for them. And then the last line is to ask for the click. And the last line is obviously the most important, okay, besides the first one. The first one is grabbing their attention, getting them to stay and watch the rest of the video. The last line is to get them to actually click on your video ad, right? You want them to click, because then it takes takes them to your landing page, where they can potentially become an email subscriber, which is what we want. So ask them for the click. You can do something crazy to ask for the click, in terms of like making some sort of crazy promise or being funny or something. Don't just say click here. Okay, be creative. Do something that will, a good call to action is always a good thing, obviously, as opposed to a bad call to action. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to fill this out, because if I go ahead and fill this out and submit the actual video for those of you who are watching, I'm going to lose one of my ad credits, and I don't want to do that. So you can just imagine that I filled this out. As soon as you submit the form with those 5 lines of text, again, 40 characters per line is what you have, and you click submit, then it takes about, I don't know, half an hour, and then they email you to say, hey, your video is done. So once your video is done, you can go to sort of the my YouTube ads section. So for those of you who can't see, I clicked on the my YouTube ads, and I have 3 different YouTube ads that I have created. Okay, there's one I created on June 25th as my first attempt at a video ad, which is pretty good. The second one, I just chose a different variant of that ad, and then the third one, I did something a little bit different. Okay, and the third one is actually doing quite well right now. So let me explain why the third ad I create is doing better than the first 2. That comes back to this concept that I was saying. When you go to create a YouTube ad inside of VRoll, you can create one, that's based off of annotations, or you create one that's based off of something called easy click. Okay, I think the word easy click is something that just the VRoll people use. I don't think that's a term that's used inside of the YouTube ad framework. But in any case, creating an annotations-based ad, which was the first 2 ads that I created were annotation-based ads. Those were focused on you as the creator of the ad. You had to create your annotations and put them into the YouTube video. Okay, so if you've ever created an annotation before in YouTube, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know how to do that, you need to specify at what point in the video you want to have sort of like an overlay come up, and then have like a box appear, and then you sort of choose the size of the box, and you put the box over, maybe a piece of a word on the screen or somewhere that you want them to click. And if they click in that box, then it'll take them to your landing page. Okay, if they click outside the box, all it's going to do is pause the video, which is, fine, whatever, but it doesn't help you at all. So, I mean, those work decently well, but as soon as I switched to easy click, I saw a much better result in terms of number of free clicks that I was getting. Because remember, any click that you get that goes to your landing page that happens before the 30-second mark is free. You don't get charged for it because it's not counted as a view. As soon as you have a view, in other words, they've watched 30 seconds or more as it pertains to VRoll, then you are paying for that ad. Okay, and it's a bidding system, so you'll pay as much as you'll bid. Okay, and I'll get into bids in a second. So easy click I found worked well, because what easy click does is, if I were to play one of the templates for you guys who are watching, and I'll explain it obviously for those who are listening. I'm sure you're getting tired of hearing me say that. I'll play one of them once my computer stops hurting itself and loading. What happens is it asks for the click, and it's very prominent, asks for the click, and it actually highlights the area of the screen that they should click on quite prominently, and it stays there like that for quite a while. So the same other concepts apply, but it's at the last part that's different, where it says click this link to find out more, and it circles in the bottom left-hand corner where they should click. And it's circling the bottom left-hand corner because that is this overlay that you can add inside of YouTube, okay, inside of the AdWords system, okay? And it stays on the screen for quite a long time. I think it's for like 10 seconds it stays on the screen for, so there's a lot more opportunity for the people to click and actually go to your website before you pay for the video. Okay, so that's the difference between easy click and annotation. I found that easy click is much, much better. Okay, but that's just me. That's just my results. So what I'm going to do now is flip over to my video campaign itself, and this is sort of this is the AdWords system. So again, in order to create a YouTube video ad, you need to be signed up for AdWords, which is available via adwords.google.com. Okay, this is the same system that you can use to create the ads, the clickable ads, or rather the keyword ads inside of the Google search engine. So if you search for, let's say, I don't know, golf clubs on Google, at the top you'll see, like, for example, if I just type in golf clubs, but I do it on my computer because I'm able to, at the very top in Google, you should see some space that are purchased by people. The first 3 at the top of my screen are ads for golf clubs. Okay, so this is AdWords being used by people. People are bidding probably large amounts of money to have their ads show up on the first screen at the very top of Google to get their ads showing up, right? So these people will pay per click. That's what Google is known for, pay per click. So if I were to click on one of these, like let's say I'll click on globalgolf.com, I apologize to them because I just charge them however much money they're paying to to get me on their website. But no, that's not entirely bad because I am interested in purchasing some golf clubs soon. That's why it was top of mind. So there you go. They got charged for my click, but that is part of the AdWords system. Okay, adwords.google.com. But also with adwords.google.com, you can create the YouTube ads. So it's the same system. So with the AdWords, you go into campaigns and you click on all video campaigns, which is on the left sort of area of the screen. Then you can see what video campaigns you have that are running. So mine that are running, I have 3 running right now. And I think I'm looking at the last 7 or 8 days worth of data. The past 2 days of data are kind of skewed because I had issues with my credit card. So my ads weren't actually running for the past 2 days because I needed to pay down my credit card because I went over my limit, which I didn't realize was happening. Apparently a lot of payments came through at the same time. So anyway, I resolved that issue. So now my ads are running again. But what you can see is you can see I have 3 campaigns that I'm running. Each one I have a different sort of budget per day. You can always say how much you want to spend per day. And it gives you a list of how many views each of the campaigns have received in the last however many days you've selected. And views, when you see the term views, those are the actual things that you're being charged for. Remember, a view is where someone has watched either 30 seconds of the video or more than 75% of the video, whichever I guess happens later. So if you have a really long video, I don't think you get charged. If it's like a 2-minute video, I don't think you get charged until they've watched over 75% of that 2-minute video. So whatever that means in terms of number of seconds through it. 2 minutes would be 120 seconds. What's 75% of 120? Oh, I just can't do that math on the fly, so I apologize. So I've had about 1,500 views on one, about 100 on the other 2, between the 2 of them. So about 200, between the 2 of those. But what you'll see is the click-through rate, CTR, click-through rate on one of them is significantly higher than the other 2. So on my lowest and let's say crappiest campaign, I have a 0.68% click-through rate, which is not very good when I consider compare and contrast that against like a Facebook ad. Facebook, around 1% is I think decent. 1.5% is quite good. Anywhere to 3% is outstanding. Okay, so I'm at less than 1%. That's not very good. My next best campaign is converting at a click-through rate of 1.14%, so almost 1 and 1.15, whatever. That's pretty good. That's average, I would say. That's okay. But then the best one is at 5.22% click-through rate. 5.22%. And the reason why it's at 5.22% is because it is that easy click ad that I created inside of VRoll. Easy click. So that's the one that prominently circles and highlights the link in the bottom left-hand corner for your ad. Okay, so that's the results I've been seeing. So I'm pumping more dollars per day into that one, and I don't have a whole lot. I only have 100 views on it. So this is not by no means a statistically significant test. I would probably need to get to well over 1,000 views before I can call it and say, yes, this click-through rate is much better. But that is the hypothesis I had coming into it. I noticed that the area of the click here type of thing was being shown for much longer than the other ones. So I just figured naturally that would lead to a better number of clicks and number of free clicks rather. So having said that, the other thing I'll mention about these YouTube ads within the AdWords system, the conversions don't seem to be tracking correctly. Because if you see on my screen, I have something like, I don't know, just over 25 plus 36 conversions. What is that? Again, I'm putting myself on the spot here. Just about 61 conversions. There are 61 conversions that are recorded in the last 8 days. But I think if I were to look at my history, I would have many, many more conversions than that. I probably have over double that in terms of the leads, and because I'm tracking it on the back end. So I'm able to figure out more precisely, I should say more precisely, exactly how many leads I'm getting from YouTube ad.
So I would keep an eye on that if I were you. I don't know why the conversions aren't tracking properly. I mean, my tracking pixel, I've installed it correctly. I've even downloaded a tracking pixel. It's called Tag Assistant by Google. It's a Google Chrome plugin. The Tag Assistant is working properly, and it showed me that it was tracking properly with the conversion pixels. So I don't know why it's not a one-to-one thing with the AdWords screen. So in any case, something to keep in mind when you are running your own YouTube campaigns. So the last thing I'll get into is inside of the campaign, once you've published your video. So let's say inside of the VRoll system. So VRoll is where you create your ads based on a template and pay X number of dollars a month for their service. Once you've created your ad there and they have created the video for you, so you're able to get the video, then you go to something called the campaign builder inside of the VRoll system. So when you go to campaign builder, you can type in a name of campaign. This is going to be the name that shows up inside of Google, inside of AdWords, I believe. It's not displayed to your customers or anything, or the people seeing your ads. It's just for yourself. Type in a name, and then you can choose one of the video ads that you have created yourself. So you can choose one of, I have 3 displaying right now because I've created 3 videos with the VRoll system. You can just check one of those, and you should be able to create a campaign. You can actually check more than one, so I'm assuming you'd be able to create multiple campaigns based on the videos. But I would just probably check one, and then you could type in the URL where you want the people to be taken to when they click on your ad. That's the most important part, is when they click on it, they need to be taken to a landing page that's going to convert well. I'd recommend lead pages for that, right? What is it? coderstartup.com/lead pages. That's our affiliate link for it. If you have never used it before, I would really, that's like one of the only tools I would use. If all I could do is get one tool, it would probably be that one, other than my email marketing system. So yeah, make sure you put in the right URL. I think what's interesting to note about lead pages is I don't know if Google AdWords is approving the lead pages, I should say, because Carter mentioned that they was having problems with that. What I did was I just published the lead pages page to my own server. Okay, so all it does is it creates essentially an HTML page that you can download, and it's essentially, I think it's just an iframe or something like that it uses, and that way you can publish it on your own URL. So, for example, mine is published on javavideotutorials.net/ and then something like javasupercourse.html or something like that. So that is the URL I take them to, and that was approved, and it's been going for over, I think, 3 weeks now, and there's been no harm done. There's been no threatening messages from Google, threatening to take it down or anything like that, because it uses lead pages in the background. It's working just fine. So if you publish it to your own server, you're perfectly fine. And then you have a display URL for that. So this is the URL that people are going to see as built into the ad itself. And then finally, one part that I haven't talked about yet is the targeting. So it uses a targeting system based on keywords. So you can type in keywords that your potential customers will be typing in. So for me, if I look at my keywords, I would you go to this section called target, and you can start typing in keywords. So for example, let's type in, I don't know, what's the thing inside of Java? So maybe say like static typing in Java or something. I don't know. Let's just type that in and say search. So what it'll do is it's going to go out and find videos related to that keyword. So what it does is it creates a list of about 240 videos that match the that keyword. So if someone were to type in static typing in Java inside of YouTube, that's essentially the list of videos, 240 videos that will show up. Okay, and then you can create that targeted list based on that keyword if you want. I won't create it just because I don't really need it. I'm already targeting enough. So that was just an example of how you do that. So you create this essentially this list of keywords, up to 10 keywords, and then you can use that as part of your campaign builder. So you can essentially choose what is 10 times 240 is 2,400 videos you can target on YouTube in essentially almost an instant. I guess I shouldn't say an instant. Once you've created all the targeted lists, that might take you about a minute or two. So in about a minute or two, you can be able to target 2,400 videos with your ads, which is fantastic. So you can just check off the ones that you want to associate with your ad, and then you set a budget. You set a max cost per view. Typically, my this is the bidding system. So how much are you willing to pay per view, which means pay per person who has watched, essentially 75% or more of your video, right? So this value, I keep it to 20 cents is actually pretty expensive for me right now. If all my videos I was paying 20 cents per view, that would actually get pretty expensive. I'm finding that most of the average views I'm paying around 7 to 10 cents per view. So that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that because that led to a cost per lead for me of about $1.15, $1.30, somewhere in that range. All right. And then what happens is you set all that stuff in terms of budget, you export your campaign. What that does is it exports it as, I think, a CSV or a text file onto your hard drive. And then in their step 2, you can upload it to AdWords. So AdWords has a way to upload that CSV file / text file fairly easily. You just go and you go into your AdWords account and click on bulk upload. And then you can actually choose a file to upload. It's a spreadsheet. So I guess that would be a CSV file. You upload your CSV file and then boom, your campaign is uploaded exactly with your video, your click-through links, your everything is ready to go inside of YouTube. They just, need to approve it, which usually takes, 30 to 60 minutes or so. And then once they've approved it, then it takes probably another, couple hours before your videos start showing. Now, for me, I didn't see that after 2 hours because I was looking at the wrong date range. The whole time I was looking at the last 7 days. If you go to the date range inside of AdWords, I was looking at the last 7 days. But when you look at the last 7 days, it does not include today's date. It's literally the last 7 days, not including today. So I think my videos were being shown. I was getting impressions and clicks, but I couldn't see it in the whatchamacallit, the analytics because I wasn't looking at today's date. So it took me essentially almost 24 hours before I saw the results, and I was freaking out and being like, "What's going on?" And anyway, so make sure you have today selected when you're looking at your date range, or at least you have a custom date range selected and you're including today's date. So it should only take a couple hours, 24 hours, I think, at most, for your ads to start showing. But yeah, there you go. So I think the last thing that you need to know before I talk about the interesting result that I was going to talk about with respect to how well the YouTube ads were going, was when you have the ad itself running, you can click on it inside of your Google AdWords account. So not the VRoll, but the Google AdWords. And you can click on the actual video itself, the actual video ad. Let me see. No, you have to click on the name of the ad, I think, before. No, apparently not. You click on the video link. I'm just sort of clicking around, seeing where it is. There you go. So I have to click on the actual. Let me go back and make sure I can explain that properly for those who are not seeing what I'm doing. If you click on your ad, there's a heading, a column called video, and it lists the actual video itself, the name of the video, with sort of a code associated with it that is tacked on by VRoll. When you click on it as a link, not the actual thumbnail of the video, but the link, the description of the video, essentially, you click on it, that will take you to a new screen where you can add something called a call to action overlay. Okay, the call to action overlay is that little overlay that appears in the bottom left-hand corner that the easy click will circle at the end of the video for the last 10 seconds and sort of say, hey, click here, click here, click here. The call to action overlay is what they're talking about. So if you don't add that call to action overlay, then the whole easy click video template will be circling nothing. So it'll say click here, and the viewers will not know where to click because they're going to click in the bottom left and nothing's going to happen because you haven't added your call to action overlay. So yes, there are a few steps here that you need to go through, but once you get all your ducks in a row in terms of the steps that you need to go through, it's not that difficult to figure this out. A little bit of clicking around, a little bit of trial and error, and you'll get it. So I can actually go ahead and click on my ad as a preview ad, And I think you'll see in the bottom left-hand corner my my call to action overlay displays. So mine just says, want to learn Java in plain English? This Java course is for beginners only. This is hands down the best system to learn Java. You'll be blown away by how simple it is. And then it says, don't believe me? Click here for details. So my call to action is don't believe me. Like I'm sort of calling him out and being like, come on, punk, let's do this, right? So I say, don't believe me? Click here for details. So that click here for details appeared almost at, it seemed like it was a 15-second mark. Okay, so at the 15-second mark, it says, don't believe me, click here for details. So almost for 15 seconds, it's sitting there and circling and circling and circling. And then the music stops. I have music that was playing and circling and circling and circling. And now it's 30 seconds. So you can see how long it's sitting there for. So that's why the click-through rate is much higher for people, because the music stopped. Maybe that could be a factor, as well as, I forgot I'd put music into this one as well. That could be what's affecting it as well. The music comes down. Essentially, all you see is this thing circling, and the people, they have no other reason other than to stick around and watch this, other than to click what you're telling them to click, or click on the skip button. Which means in either case, as long as I do that before the 30-second mark, you're either not paying for it because they're skipping it, or you're getting a free click, right? So that's pretty cool. And then obviously, if they click on that little overlay, then they're going to go to your landing page. So, there. Having said that, let me flip back over and stop the sharing of the screen so you guys can see me again, and talk about the interesting results from this campaign. So recently, I've decided I have a bit of spare change that I have sitting in my bank account, my own personal bank account, that I sort of wanted to invest. I was thinking about going with something like a Primerica, or going to my local financial planning type person and say, hey, I've got a couple G's, I don't know, doesn't matter how much I have to invest, because sitting in my low interest savings account, even though they call it a high interest, it's basically I'm getting nothing. I don't even think I'm beating inflation. So I'm getting a horrible interest rate return on my savings that are just sitting there essentially doing nothing. And I was like, you know what, I want to invest this. And I was thinking, if I invest it in something like a private firm that will handle the money for me, or something like a Primerica, the best that they're going to do for me is a really good return on investment is maybe 10% over the course of an entire year. That would be considered good, right? And then you reduce inflation from that, maybe you're ahead 7% per year, which, I mean, that's fine, because it's very safe, and hopefully it's safe, and that's great. That's you're apparently doing well if you do it that way. But I was like, screw that. I think my business can give me a much better rate of return through paid advertising. I think I can get a much better return on investment than essentially 7%. I guess I should say 10, because inflation will always happen no matter what. But 10%, I can get much better than that with my own business. Now, it is, of course, more risky, but I believe in myself. I have control over that. It's not like I'm investing in someone else's business. So I'm in control of it. So, and I trust myself. At least I should. So having said that, I started pumping in a bunch of cash into my, let me get it right, my Facebook ads. So not the YouTube, I was pumping into Facebook ads. And what's interesting with Facebook ads is, as you pump more and more and more and more money in terms of the budget into your campaigns inside of Facebook, you tend to see a higher and higher cost per conversion, which is bad. I'm paying more and more money to acquire a lead, okay, to acquire an email address. Previously, I was paying around $1.15, $1.30 inside of Facebook, okay, which you'll note is the same I was receiving inside of YouTube. So you might be saying, why are you considering YouTube to be a great platform if you're getting around the same rate of return as Facebook? Well, like I said, Facebook, when I started pumping in a couple G's into the budget, that cost per lead started to skyrocket. Okay, depending on the day, some days I was paying $14 per lead. Other days I was paying like $6 per lead. Other days I was sometimes hitting like $2 per lead, blah, blah, blah. And over the long term, I was getting an average of around $4, $5, $6 per lead, which in my business, with my numbers, I know I typically get about $6 per email subscriber back. That's essentially my ROI with paid advertising. So if I were to spend $6 or more, I would essentially be either breaking even or losing money. Okay, that's not including lifetime value of the customer. Okay, I could certainly sell more products to them down the line. So I probably might get more. I should get more than $6 per customer, per lead, I should say, not customer. But in any case, that's neither here nor there. I'm essentially getting $6 per person. So if I'm paying more than that, it doesn't really make sense for me to be investing in paid advertising. So that kind of disappointed me with Facebook ads. But what's interesting is with YouTube ads, I've cranked up. I'm spending, what am I spending? Let me go back and check that. I'm spending something like, what is it, $80 a day? I have 30, yeah, I'm spending $80 a day. So almost $100 a day in YouTube ads. And the cost per conversion, I believe, has been around, like I said, $1.15, $1.30 per lead, even though I'm spending $80 per day. So what is that? $80 per day times about 30 days. So I'm spending about $2,400 a month on YouTube ads, and I'm getting around the same cost per conversion as I was with Facebook when I was spending maybe $300 a month. Okay, so that's really good. That tells me that YouTube ads are much more scalable, and that is always where you want to be pointing the ship toward. That's the whole point of paid advertising right now, is I want to be able to create scalable income for myself. Imagine if you could make more money by just clicking a few buttons, typing in a few numbers, and saying save. Okay, that is essentially what I'm going towards with respect to this testing that I'm doing with YouTube ads. Once I'm confident that I can spend $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 a month in paid advertising, and still know that I'm able to acquire those leads for less than $2, I'm almost certain that I can see a 2, 3, 5-fold return on my investment. Okay, that's obviously assuming everything still keeps going hunky dory with all my that's assuming nothing really bad happens. I could expect at the very minimum, a 200% return on my investment because I know my numbers, right? That is obviously, if you had a choice between getting a 10% return on your investment over 12 months versus a 200% return on your investment in 2 months, which one would you choose, right? So that was the interesting result that I saw between YouTube ads and Facebook ads, was the scalability of it. So that's really huge. I'm really excited to see the future of that. I figured I would just pass along all this great information to you. Like I said, I've never really seen anybody talking too much about YouTube ads because a lot of people are scared about creating them. And I'm really doing myself a disservice at telling you guys this, because YouTube ads are a bidding system. So if anyone is out there creating programming tutorials and selling them on selling info products about those, you're my competitor. So you're going to be competing with me bidding on these YouTube ads. So that's actually, I'm doing myself a disservice, but that's all right. I think, there's so much. I like to adopt more of an abundance mindset. There's so much space out there. There's so many markets, so much opportunity that you go ahead, take what I've said. If you want to compete with me, then so be it. Let's do it. I like a good competition. If not, then that's great. We're not competing with each other, and hopefully you are able to take this and run with it and scale your business in terms of scaling your income and your revenue substantially by using this approach to paid advertising. Because like I said, wasn't that hard to set up. I was set up in less than an hour, and I had my YouTube videos up and running within an hour, and then I needed to wait for them to be approved and everything. But less than an hour of work from knowing pretty much nothing to having the ads published. So the only other sort of blocking point there is that you'll need to create an AdWords account if you haven't already done that. AdWords.google.com. If you haven't created the account, do so. You'll have to hook up a credit card. I know it sucks, but Google has to get paid for their advertising somehow. So that's how you do it. So create that campaign or that login first, and then you should be good to go. So, fantastic. Call to action. What's the call to action for this episode? Well, I guess it's go to coderstartup.com/34 to get all the show notes for this episode, and also click on the coaching tab to do coaching with me. If you're interested in getting advice on a weekly basis, I do 4 weekly phone calls per month with my coaching clients. The first one we do together is free. There's no obligation. I go through your business and sort of set up a plan for you and how you can move forward with your business. I mean, especially if you're in the info product space, if you want to create info products, we would be a wonderful match. We'll be a match made in heaven. I have so much information that I can dump into your brain and help you out with your business. So especially if you have an info product, please go to coderstartup.com/coaching. Or, like I said, go to the /34, see the show notes, and then click on the coaching tab in the top right. And let's just set up a call with each other. We can hop on Skype. We can do a 45-minute call or something like that. Get to know each other. I can help you out with your business. And if that's all you want to do, then that's all you need to do. But if you want to go forward and do the coaching, like I said, 4 times a week, plus you get unlimited email access to me. We can shoot the SHIT back and forth. Then there you go. That'd be great. I would love it. I love talking about business. I love doing coaching. It's so cool for me to see sort of the results that I can make in other people's businesses who may be struggling, especially those selling info products. So cool. That'll be the call to action for this episode. Coderstartup.com/coaching and /34 as well if you want to go and check out the show notes. So until next time, take care of yourselves and bye for now. Peace.